You know, I actually wasn't going to put this video out. I had recorded it all, rewatched it, and just thought, I'm alright. There's so much drama going on right now. I don't want to add another name to the list. But then a friend of mine told me that he had similar issues, and that when he approached him at Blade Show, the guy threatened him. And I don't take lightly to things like that. So, if all of that is true, and to be clear, I have no way to verify that, it's just a story. But if you don't like critique, sir, and you like to get violent with those who give you critique, I'll be at Blade Show, and I ain't hiding, so let me know. Anyways, here we go. How you doing today, folks? Now, before we get started, let's unravel this tangled, weird-ass web that Mike Piccola, yeah, you, sir, Mike Piccola, has weaved. I am known for many things. Lying and playing games is not one of them, so let's clear the air right here. I bought this knife from Mike Piccola, and then Dirk Wierning asked to check it out. When Dirk got it in hand, I had a whole bunch of problems. He then offered to contact the maker. For whatever reason, Mike Piccola said he sold the knife to Dirk Wierning and not me, for some strange weirdo-ass reason. But to be very clear, this is my knife, not Mike Piccola's knife, not Dirk Wierning's knife. This is my knife, my problem, and as such is why this video is being released. So, in Nick Shabazz fashion, we're going to do this with the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's really only one good in this whole story, but I gotta admit, it's a pretty positive good. This is this knife now. As you can see, it is very damn good looking, beautiful frag pattern. Now, it's still a good looking knife now, but this is what it used to be. This is what it should have remained. So even the good is also one of the really ugly. This knife was advertised as the Black Tonto Frag Flipper. Literally, the Black Tonto Frag Flipper. Kind of a dumb name, very on the nose, but either way, at the very least, it was what it claimed to be, and it was quite beautiful as such. That black blade now has a satin blade, and while I personally prefer the black blade over the satin is damn beautiful, and that is the good. This is a damn good looking knife. Now the bad. The bad is that Attn2Detail knives, or A2d, does not warranty their products beyond the first purchaser. Now, to be very clear, in most industries, not the knife industry, most industries throughout the world, this is common practice, even accepted practice. But we are not the rest of the world. We buy, sell, trade back, sell something, wish we didn't sell it, and buy it back from somebody else. And we have this gigantic self-consuming cycle where we just constantly have new stuff and things are always being moved on so we can acquire something new and beautiful. This man is a piece of our community, and as such, I have no doubt he buys, sells, and trades all the time, just like all of us. So why, sir, why would you make this knife warranted only under the first purchaser? That is bad. It's not ugly. I disagree with it personally, but at the very least, it's very clearly stated when you purchase this knife. Now the rest of all this ugly I'm about to discuss right now is not stated at all, and as such we have a problem. The action on this knife is honestly terrible. The centering on this knife is absolutely terrible. This knife has problems for days. The actual blade rubbed against the side of the scales, so the action suffered. The scales were loose and improperly fitted, even when the knife was fully secured and fully tightened down. And all of these things were direct from the manufacturer, because Mike Piccola, when he first got this knife, was very excited, and he literally called me as he's unboxing it to go show off his brand new, as he called it, Grail. Now, did Mike Piccola sell me this knife with these problems and basically lie about it? It's entirely possible. Honestly, I think Mike Piccola, bless your heart, sir, you're just a big old lovable idiot, and honestly, I don't really mind that much. You're still my friend, and I got love for you, sir. Now, as far as the actual knife and the warranty, Again, Mike Piccola said he sold this knife to Dirk Wierning, not me, for reasons. So the majority of the discussion between the maker is between Dirk Wierning and Mike Piccola, primarily Mike Piccola. So the knife was sent in to the maker, and the first thing the maker said is that it did not leave my shop like that. Sir, I literally watched this knife be unboxed on a live video because Mike Piccola just loves to randomly video chat my ass. This knife had these problems from the get-go. Mike Piccola was smitten by how beautiful it is, and it really is a beautiful, beautiful knife. But those problems were always there. He just thought that over time it would break itself in and all would work out, because who would sell an intentionally flawed knife? Now, when I say intentionally flawed, I mean intentionally flawed. A2d is not a big maker by any means. He's definitely gotten more popular as of late, but he's still by no means big time, and he handles all of these knives personally. He QCs them all personally. He sharpens them all personally for the most part. So, sir, Mr. It Did Not Leave My Factory This Way, you QC'd this knife. You saw that it had blade rub, side to side play, up and down play, the scales literally flexed. This is your QC, and it did not leave your factory that way. Sir, I'm calling bullshit. And the worst part is still coming. So, not only did this man claim that it never left the factory that way, that it was damaged by Mike Piccola when it was not, because again, it was like that immediately. Not only did it have all of these problems, but once it was sent in, this man, without consent, without conversation, without literally anything, took it upon himself to fundamentally change the knife. The blade Mike Piccola bought was black. The blade I bought as well was also black. This, as you can see, folks, is very clearly a satin blade. Now, his logic for this when he's called out on his shit is that I ran out of the other blades, so I made do. Now, that might be fine if you told either Mike Piccola or Dirk Wierning this, and you gave him the option to either, A, wait, because you are a maker, you make these blades, you can make more. Or B, if we had to have it right now, then you know what, send it with a satin blade. There was none of that communication. Absolutely nothing. This man claimed this knife arrived to Mike perfect, and then after it's sent back in with tons and tons of problems, decided to fundamentally alter the way the knife looks and completely change the blade and the steel. Without consent, without conversation, without even notifying anybody. Dirk got this back in hand. I was like, whoa, what the hell? The blade's satin. I got this back in hand. Whoa, what the hell? The blade's satin. This is not what I paid for. Now, all of these things might be overlooked, right? Probably not, but just for argument's sake, I might just go, you know what? If the action's great, I don't care. Here's the action. This is what you get. With wrist, it'll open up. If you flip it a whole bunch of times, see, that's not locked. Eventually, it will deploy. But for the most part, this is what you get. See, there you go, you got a partial lockup. But again, back to this, back to this, back to this. I've had this knife for a few weeks now. I've tried running it dry. I've tried adding some lubrication to it. So this is the best it gets, right? But didn't leave your shop that way. We must have broke the knife. This just came from you, sir, after you being warranted for it having these issues. These issues are not as bad as what was there before, to be very clear, but by no means fixed, by no means functional. This knife has a problem. The scales still shift very, very subtly. It's nowhere near as bad. There is side-to-side play. There is up and down play. It's not as bad as it was before, but it's still very much there, direct from spa treatment. It'll drop shut to a point. The action dropping down really isn't that bad. But again, it's a flipper, and it doesn't really flip unless you get lucky or use wrist. I will say the ergonomics feel really good. I really want to like this knife. This Tonto looks freaking badass. And what's going to happen now is I'm going to send this knife around the community to my personal friends, and I'm going to have them fix the mistakes of this man. Because this design is not broken. This knife could be made into something truly and genuinely special with fantastic action, and everything functions beautifully. This is just pure laziness, pure disrespect, because not all knives arrive perfectly, especially handmade customs. Problems will inherently occur, folks. If a knife's being made by hand, by these hands, by the hands of just regular ass mortal men and not machines, errors and issues will happen. I fully expect that and I accept that. Now, not just once, but twice, did this man have the opportunity to make this right, and he utterly failed. And even worse still, if there's a problem, he will not own up to it, and he'll only fix it in his personal way, not what you want, and your knife might be completely altered as a direct result without any say-so, without any consent. Just, you know, open the box and surprise. Black Tonto Frag flipper, no more. Now it's satin. I will say it's a good looking satin, but not what I paid for. And again, even after it being warranted, the problems do persist. And that, folks, is a very serious problem. If a knife arrives damaged or broken, honestly, shit happens. But if that maker is given a chance to rectify it, if that maker is given an opportunity to fix it, and he does not, and he accuses and blames and makes excuses about why it's damaged in the first place, that is a inherently bad, and I mean a very bad maker, a very bad person in general. Community, everybody, attention to detail, A2d knives, once again, buyer beware. Finally, to add some supreme irony, some outright comedy to this whole situation, this man's company's name is A2d Knives, Attention to Detail Knives, and he pays zero attention to any details. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Have a good day, folks. I love you all. Please take care, and bye-bye.